This forward this way. So I have everything crammed up over here. So here we go. I want you to look at both the screen and the fan. I have a lot of room back here. If you guys can see, this is a lot. This fan works amazingly. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is gonna be about Big Red over here. And what I'm gonna be doing to Big Red is I'm going to be adding a cooling fan to my bass amp. If you guys saw my walkthrough or walk around video on Big Red, you guys know that I have my amp rack and all my components behind the rear seat. And it gets really, really hot back there. The other day I was playing my music when it was 110 degrees probably, and my amp got really hot, maybe 140, 130, 130, 140 degrees, and that's a little too hot. And I wanna add a fan to help keep the temperature down to at least 120, 130, maybe 125, if it's possible. I don't know. Anything I can do to help with ventilation back there, it's gonna be a big plus. I'll show you what the setup looks like now, and then after that, I will show you what I'm gonna use to try to keep it cooler, all right? So I'm gonna walk you over to the truck. It's a little dirty. I haven't washed it in a couple days. And so this is the setup here. Let me bring this forward this way. So I have everything crammed up over here. If you guys can see, there's a lot happening back here. I have my battery in the middle there. I have my epicenter. I have my JP23 right here. And then on the other side, let me go around and show you. On the other side here, I have my JP234 here for my mids and twits, for my mids and tweeters here. So once the backrest of the seat goes up, there's really not a lot of airflow back here. So what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna try to put I have a thin fan I picked up from Amazon. I'm gonna show you guys what that little fan looks like. It's a 12 volt, and it works really good. I already used one of those in the past, and it's slim. It can fit anywhere back here, and it's a 12 volt. I'm also gonna use a fan controller, temperature fan controller with a probe. So when when the amp hits a certain temperature, the fan is gonna kick on and it's gonna work until that temperature goes down to whatever set point I decide to put it at. Let's say the amp kicks on at, the amp's fan, built-in fan kicks on at 120, I believe, 120 or a little over that. So I can set my extra fan at the same temperature, kick on at 120, or maybe higher, maybe 125, and then the fan controller would leave it running until the temperature goes down below 120. At that point, the external fan will shut down, and that's it. And that should be the plan for today's video. I'm planning on putting it here somewhere, since that's my bass amp. I don't have enough room on the other side to put my fan, so I'm thinking about here somewhere above the battery. But I need to figure out how I can build. I'm gonna build a couple brackets for this. Yeah, I don't have any problems with my mids and tweeters amp. This thing keeps it cool all the time. Okay, so that's the plan. Now I'm gonna walk over to my table, and then I'll show you what I'm gonna use, and also I'm gonna demonstrate what that fan's supposed to do. I'm gonna cycle it through I'm gonna put it through a heat cycle, and then I'm gonna cool it down. That's gonna be the probe, and then you can see when it kicks on and when it kicks off. All right, so this is it right here, guys. Again, I picked up all these parts from straight from Amazon. You guys can get your own if you guys want to help out your sound system stay cooler. This is the temperature controller here. Okay, it's got a digital screen here, and then you can set it up, down. I'll show you how this works. It's very simple. 12 volt positive, negative, and then these two right here are gonna be for, I'll take that back. These two are the positive and negative for the battery, and this is gonna go to the fan, okay? And then once this turns on, you can adjust your temperature where you want it to kick on and shut off. I'll show you how that works. And then this is the small probe. You can see this is a little tiny probe, and this right here can fit anywhere on that amp. You can put it either on the cooling fins on the fan, or wherever you think it's the hottest place on the amp. You can put this on there for a better read. Okay, so that's the fan controller right there. And then this is the little fan. I'll give you the measurements right now. So this is the fan. See how slim it is. It's about 1 inch. Let me get my measuring tape and I can show you how thin or thick it is. Okay, so just give me 1 second. I'm gonna put the camera right here. Okay, so the measurements for this fan here, it's 4 5/8 from edge to edge, 4 5/8. The other side is gonna be 4 5/8. So it's 4 5/8 all around. And the thickness, the thickest part of this fan is gonna be 1 1.25 inches thickness. So it's not that thick, and it works really, really well. Anyway, so I have the fan, I have the controller, I have all my leads here, battery, I have my heat gun, so I can put it through a heat cycle, and then once I'm ready, I'm gonna bring in something cold like a water bottle, or I don't know what I can find in my freezer to bring the temperature down, and you can see the whole system work from hot to cold. All right, guys, so here is a quick demonstration of how this system is gonna work once installed in the truck. I'm gonna show you what the temperatures are, the kick on temperature and the shut off temperature. This temperature controller, it only displays the temperature in Celsius, so you're gonna have to translate whatever Celsius temperature it's on to Fahrenheit. I already did it, so I'm gonna show you what my settings are. If you wanna do the same installation as I am, you're just gonna have to deal with Celsius instead of Fahrenheit, which is not a big deal. All you gotta do is just translate from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera around. I have everything set up. As you can see, that's my fan. That's my temperature controller here. It's flickering because, you know, LEDs. That number there, when you turn it on and off, that number is there. It's from factory. that has nothing to do with your settings. So the up arrow, the down arrow to adjust your settings, your temperature settings. You can see this one here. This is my fan. The power, the lead from the fan goes into the yellow and black, and then the power goes positive to positive on my 12-volt battery here, and then the negative obviously goes to the negative. This is the probe right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my heat gun over here, and when this digital display shows 55 degrees Celsius, I have a kick on at 55 degrees Celsius. That's 131 degrees. That's translated to Fahrenheit. So 55 Celsius is 131 Fahrenheit here for us in the USA. Now, it's gonna kick on at 131 degrees Fahrenheit, and then it's gonna shut off at 48 degrees Celsius or 118 degrees. So the temperature, once the temperature reaches 131, this is gonna kick on. It's gonna continue working and cooling the amp until the amp's temperature goes down to 118 degrees. Now, keep in mind, the original, stock amp on the stock fan on the amp, the little fan on the bottom of the fan of the amp, that one kicks on at 120. So it's gonna be, that little fan is gonna be working way before this big one kicks on. So if it reaches 131 like it did before, then this is gonna help the little fan. If it never reaches 131, even better. It's gonna work cooler. I don't have to, this one doesn't have to help it cool it down. So that's the whole plan. Anyway, I'm gonna show you right now how it works. I'm gonna figure out a way for you to see both. Let's see, how can I do this? Like the probe, I'm gonna have to use, let's see, let me use my measuring tape here. Okay, seems like I got it figured out. I'm just using my measuring tape to hold it in place. And I want you to watch the, I'm gonna use my torch here to heat it up. And remember, it's gonna kick on at 55 degrees Celsius. You're gonna see the screen. As soon as it hits that, the fan's gonna start working. And then it's gonna keep on working until it goes down to 48 degrees Celsius. So here we go. I want you to look at both the screen and the fan. So I'm just using this to heat it up. As you can see, the temperature is rising. (42, 43). Remember, we're looking for 55. Okay, 55. There it is, guys. See, now the fan is working at 55. The temperature kept going a little higher. Now it's going down. 54, 53. The fan's still working. It's working really, really well. Okay. 49 is dropping. Remember, it's gonna go down until it hits 48, and then the fan's gonna shut off. There it is. See? Now the fan is off because the temperature went down. It kept going down. And that's it, guys. And the reason why the temperature went down so quickly is because I have my fan back there, and that thing blows a lot of air, and that helped cool the probe down faster. Okay, the temperature is going down again. So this is a pretty neat and simple way to help your amps stay cooler. So all I got to do now is figure out a way to come up with some kind of brackets or some kind of some way to put this in the back seat of the truck, on the right next to the base amp. I'm gonna work on that right now, and whenever I figure something out, I will bring you guys in closer so you guys can take a look at what I decided to build for this. Okay, so I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I cut out a little piece of this sound deadener or whatever it is called. I cut this piece out. Remember, it was straight like this, and by doing that, I exposed these three bolts holding the rear window motor. Okay, but I think I'm not gonna be able to use those. Well, I could if I wanted to, but if you can picture this, if I go this high with it, the amp is way down here. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's not gonna be as efficient as I want it to be. So I think I'm gonna have to go a little lower. I think I'm gonna have to go a little lower with the fan, like so. Hold on, just give me 1 second. Okay, like right here. And I can use this bracket to build a couple of aluminum flat stock brackets to hold this off of this existing bracket holding the motor here. If I can come up with some kind of 90s here, couple screws on this side, on either side of this bracket, and then 90 over, and I can use a couple bolts for this or screws. Then the fan is gonna be right here, or I can even turn it down a little. That way it'll be pointing down at the amp. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I already moved the seat back all the way, and I have about half an inch or an inch of clearance between the back of the seat and the face of the fan. I think that's what I want to do. Worst case scenario, I'm gonna have to be way up here and point it down towards the fan, towards the amp. I think I'm liking this better. Instead of lower, I'm gonna do it up here. All I gotta do is just figure out how I'm going to install my brackets from here to here. That's the hardest part. Okay, so I'll figure this out. And as far as the fan controller, I have some room back here right next to the epicenter. There's nothing here. See this little square? This is empty. So I think I'm gonna put my fan controller here, run my wires with all this wiring all the way to where I need it over here. And also the power wire that's going to supply 12 volts to the fan controller is going to come from that side, because my fuse box, my fuse panel is down there on that kick panel passenger side. So I got to run a power wire all the way around this way to here. Okay, step by step, let's figure out the fan location first. Okay, so I'll be right back. All right, guys, so all I did was cut me 2 pieces of this aluminum flat stock, and then I did my 90s here. Okay, I drilled a couple holes to hold this together. Now on the bottom of this right here, I'm gonna try to use another bracket here if there's a chance, or if there's room back there to build me another 90. Worst case scenario, I'm gonna have to use a double-sided tape here, But yeah, it's gonna depend on what I have to work with on the truck. So let's bring this to the truck and figure out where my holes are gonna be to mount the fan to the truck. All right, so let's go to the truck. Okay guys, so I need to figure out where I'm gonna drill my holes. I'm not gonna be able to use this because I'm gonna go lower with the fan. So I need to drill a couple holes here, one here and one here. But I need to know where exactly. So to do that, I'm gonna have to play with this thing a little bit. Let's see. I also want to turn it. I also want to turn it a little facing down, like so. I don't want to put it straight flat like this because the outlet is right here, and obviously the fan, the amp is down there. So I want this tilted over down, like so I can take advantage of all the air I can get from this. And I think I got it, man. I think I'm gonna cut these a little shorter, these brackets, so I can bring the fan closer to this mount here. There's too much of a gap here. I don't want the face of the fan to touch the back side of the seat. Okay, so I'm gonna shorten these up a little more. This bracket and this bracket. Once I do that, I will know exactly where I want my holes to be on the brackets here on these 90s. All right, so let me cut this a little shorter. All right, I already installed the fan, and I drilled a couple of holes here to hold those brackets on. And you can see better now what I was talking about when I wanted it tilted down. The outlet of the fan is facing down towards the fan, towards the amp over here. It's tilted down and in an angle this way. That way the outlet hits directly into these settings, holes or cracks or whatever. So all that cool air is gonna go through there all the way out. So that's the plan anyway. That's done. Now I gotta test if we have enough clearance behind the seat. If my measurements were correct, I should have enough clearance. I should have about an inch or so between here and here. And it's pretty sturdy, it doesn't move. I'm still gonna add a piece of double-sided tape on the bottom here so it won't rattle. But that's it, guys. That's one. I'm gonna keep on moving forward. The next thing is gonna be my fan controller here. Ran all my wires, and yeah, we should be getting a little closer from seeing this thing work. All right, let me check on the back seat. Okay, I have a lot of room back here. If you guys can see, that's the fan. And there is a good inch or so for airflow. Right there, can you see it? And the seat is all the way back. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Pretty good. Cool. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, guys, moving on. I already soldered a fuse onto a piece of wire I had on my stash. I soldered that piece on, and then I also soldered and crimped a Spade terminal. That way I can get behind this panel and get to my fuses. I will find a fuse, an ignition source here, 12-in ignition source. So when the truck starts, that wire is going to be energized, and then that will send power to the fan control. And after that, once I find the fuse I'm looking for, I am going to take these off, this panel off, all that off, all the way around, because I need to run that wire around through here all the way to the other side. Okay, so let's do that now. I found the fuse I'm gonna be able to use to energize the fan controller. And as you can see, when I turn the ignition on, my tester comes on also. So that's the one I need. Only when the truck is running, I need a 12-volt signal to be sent to that controller. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and tap into that fuse. After that, I'm gonna run my wire all the way from there around. Okay, so I will see you guys in the back of the truck when I'm installing the controller. Okay guys, I have everything I need to finish up installing the fan controller. I'm gonna put it right here like I mentioned before. And what I'll do is I'm gonna put all the wires together. I'm gonna connect all the wires. And once I'm done putting everything together, I will show you exactly what I did and how I ran the wires. And the very last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna give it a test. We're gonna be using my temp gun to test it out, and we're gonna see the temperature rising. And then, you know, the same thing we did at the table, we're gonna do it here to make sure it works. So here we go. Okay guys, the installation is complete. Everything is up and running. I already tested it out and it works really good. So here's the rundown of what I did. I ran my ground wire from the fan controller back here, and then I went behind these panel to the factory location right here. Okay, power 12 volt. You guys know I went all the way around, all the way to the front, and then I tapped into the fuse over there. So that's power and ground. Now my probe, my thermostat probe, I routed it this way, and then I put it on top of the amps cooling fins right here, and then I stuck it in there. It's hard to see it, but it's way in there somewhere. Okay, and I think that's the best location because that does it in the middle. It's like a center location of the whole thing, so maybe that's the best location to get an accurate read on the temperature. Okay, that's that. And then what else? My fan wires, I just ran them through here, all these bundle of wires all the way down to feed the actual fan. And the fan came out to be really sturdy. It doesn't move at all, and like I said, it's in an angle pointing down at the amp over here. And I'm gonna give it I'm gonna show you how it works. I'm gonna do my best to show you, and then you guys keep an eye out on the numbers, the digital numbers on the controller. I'm gonna use a piece of tissue paper here so you can see how much of airflow this thing put out. Okay, so as you can see, there's nothing right now, right? This thing is not even moving. Let's see, can you see it from there? Yeah, this thing is not even moving. Nothing. So I'm gonna start heating it up. I'm gonna use the same thing, my heat gun to the probe, which is right there in the middle. This thing is gonna climb up to 55, I think. Right now it's 43. So let's start heating it up. Look at the numbers on the controller. They're climbing up really fast. 51, 52, 53. Okay. So 54, 55, 54. There it is. Okay. 58. Now look at this right here, guys. Oh, sorry. Look at, it's a lot of flow, guys. Look at this. All the way to here. So it's flowing really, really well. All this right here. I can't even hold this still. See how much it is right now? Oh, crap. Okay, right here. Look at this. All the way to here. It's flowing really well. And there it is. It shot off already. All right, I'm gonna show you guys one more time, a little closer this time, okay? So that's the fan, that's the temperature, 45. So I'm gonna heat it up again. Okay, I'm gonna heat it up. Look at the temperature. 47, 48, 49, 48, 49. Fan's not on yet, but look. As soon as it hits 55. Okay, right now it's at 60. Okay. This is a lot. This fan works amazingly. And then it's pointing at the amp over here where all the adjustments are. There's a few slots there, and I'm sure the air is going through those slots all the way across to here, because I can feel the air over here. Look. Okay. Not sure if you can see it, but it's 49. It's going down now. Okay. So it's cooling. At 48, it's gonna stop. There's no airflow. There it is. Beautiful. Okay. And the truck is running. Truck is running now. And if I shut it off, that controller is gonna turn off. Okay, so I'm gonna shut it off right now. And that controller is off. All right, guys, so there it is. The fan is working perfect. It's flowing a lot of air, is pushing out a lot of air through that amp. And I don't think I'm gonna have a heating problem anymore, or at least it's not gonna get that high. If you have any questions about anything I did on today's video, please let me know. Put it down in the comment section below. All the parts I used, I'm gonna be adding a link to those parts. I purchased everything from Amazon, so you should be able to get everything from Amazon. Any questions, anything you wanna know, let me know, okay? So please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.